Real estate hiring is totally different. Passion to be a realtor, corporate companies.
जाती है हाँ?
Exactly. Want a waterfront kind of location.
Hello and welcome, folks, to In Dubai Show, brought to you by one and only Indus Real Estate. This is your host, cum dost, Dhruv. You can also call me D. We are here to talk about everything and anything Dubai. Every episode, we welcome a special guest who spills the tea, or should I rather say Arabic coffee, on the latest trends, inside tips, and what makes Dubai the place to be. So, buckle up, my friends, as we are going to deep dive into the ocean, a world of Dubai real estate with a dash of fun and whole lot of insights. So, let's get started. Hello viewers, welcome to our channel In Dubai Show, episode 2, season 1, brought to you by Indus Real Estate. And this is your host cum dost, Dhruv. You can also call me D. Our show is all about Dubai and everything and anything to do about Dubai real estate market and all the hard work, the sweat which goes to sell your dream home and the stories behind it. You know, today's podcast is going to be a very special one. While I was driving to our studio, it was just coming in my mind, what is human resource and real estate got to do? Then I realized, to solve this puzzle, to understand more about this, we have invited a very special guest on our show. But before I call her name out, please like and subscribe our channel so we can get you more informative stories about real estate, about all the hard work which goes behind, and all the people who make it possible for you to buy that dream home and all the things. So, as I was talking about, let me introduce you today on our podcast, one and only Aisha Siddiqui. Thank you, Aisha, for coming to our show.
Thank you so much, Dhruv, for inviting me to this show. And I would like to introduce myself. My name is Aisha Siddiqui, and I've been working in Dubai for quite a long time into the HR recruitment sector, mostly in the real estate department. So yes, I'm working for quite long for a real estate company, that's Indus Real Estate, which is a very renowned brokerage firm in the market for last 20 years now. And yes, so far it's been an amazing journey.
Very nice.
And
Aisha.
also, I would congratulate to you on your new show. I hope you guys and you and your team get all the success. And
Thank you so much. We need all your blessings. And thank you. Thank you
Definitely,
so much.
definitely.
मतलब
They're all
अगर,
with you.
Human resource ऐसा बोल रहा है तो इंशाल्लाह शो और भी आगे जाएगा.
Inshallah.
So, Aisha, I wanted to know, should we begin from the beginning?
Definitely.
Our viewers would like to know, where are you from?
So basically, I am from India. You want to know from which city I am, or just...
Maybe if you can, specify a little
Okay,
bit.
so I am born and brought up in Mumbai, but my native is Lucknow,
Wow.
which is the city of Nawabs. So yes, I come from a city of Mumbai, which is again a city of dreams.
Mhm.
People go to Mumbai to fulfill their dreams. I think people come to Dubai also with a lot of dreams. Yeah. So yes, that's where I am from.
So how did this journey of, our viewers would like to know, ये journey कैसे start हुई दुबई आने की?
It was a very random decision to come to Dubai. I was just looking for a career break, where I can explore something outside the country.
Okay.
And I come from a background of a very conservative Muslim family where no female has ever visited a country abroad for work or in terms of building their career. So the moment I told my parents that I want to go to Dubai, it was not taken very positively. But all I asked to my father that just give me 3 months, because I remember during those days we used to get like three months visit visa, and you would not believe I came here without knowing anything about Dubai. I mean, I didn't know where I'm gonna stay, or I didn't know what I'm gonna do. Though I have a very good background from Mumbai, working into recruitment sector again, and I just came randomly. It was a very random decision, which I am currently so grateful that I finally made it.
वाओ, मतलब मैं आपको यहाँ 1 मिनट रोकना चाहूंगा और अपने सारे व्यूअर्स को कहूंगा कि इस बात पे एक हार्ट इमोजी तो बनती है, और अगर हार्ट इमोजी नहीं तो कम से कम आप कमेंट बॉक्स में कमेंट लिख सकते हैं आयशा सिद्दीकी के लिए कि आप उनसे क्या नेक्स्ट सवाल पूछना चाहेंगे. सो कमिंग बैक टू यू आयशा, यू नो, HR, human resource. When we hear this word, can you simplify it for us that what is actually human resource?
It's very simple. Human resources. Human resources is all about people.
Okay.
The HR is your person to go to, right? So HR is your person, is your friend, is your colleague, who is always there for you. No matter, a lot of employees, they deny this fact, or because of their XYZ interaction with their fellow HR. But from my experience, I say that I would, really like emphasize on this, that HR is somebody who's always thinking about their employees. It's a people's person, in short.
So basically you're a people's person.
Definitely.
That's why you chose this
HR,
role?
yeah. I mean, a person who loves to help people can be the right person to, be in the HR department.
So मैंने ऐसा भी सुना है कि थोड़ा लाइट मोमेंट करते अभी बहुत सीरियस हो रहा था हमारे व्यूअर्स के लिए. मैंने ऐसा सुना था कि HR पे जोक्स भी बनते हैं, मीम्स भी बनते हैं.
And believe me, the HR is actually enjoying it the most.
The
more
jokes
than the
and the
employees, yeah.
okay. So ऐसा कोई जोक है या ऐसा कोई इंसिडेंट है जो आप इस वक्त हमारे शो पे व्यूअर्स के साथ शेयर करना चाहेंगे?
There are a lot actually, because I mean, on a daily basis, my HR colleagues or my fellow employees or my friends, we often share these kind of memes, yeah, which is very funny. Like, there was a cat meme that recently I received, which was like, the HR is sleeping no matter what's happening around the world. But the moment the candidate is declining the offer or not showing up on the joining date, that's like an heart attack for the HR. And I really can feel it, because, as a recruiter, as a talent acquisition specialist, really, when you're hiring somebody, you really look forward to that candidate to join, because you have struggled to get that right candidate. And when on the joining date they're not turning up, it's like a,
It's like a
turn
heartbreak.
off. It's more painful than a heartbreak.
Heartbreak. Oh my
Yes.
God. So on that note, I think you can actually give one heart emoji to Aisha Siddiqui
Again.
and like the comment, or subscribe our channel. So Aisha, coming back, what is the process of hiring in a real estate company?
That's really a very good question, because when I came to Dubai, believe me, I was not aware about anything what real estate is.
Okay.
Because back in Mumbai, I have worked into a lot of companies, like corporate companies. So I've been hiring for more about corporate rules, and they follow a certain process, and you have to stick to the process. You cannot just do anything which does not complies with the policies of the company in terms of hiring. And it's like a very monotonous process, I would say, in corporate. But after coming to Dubai, I realized that real estate hiring is totally different. I mean, in fact, yesterday I made a post also on LinkedIn stating about the same, like how real estate hiring is very different from the normal hiring process for any other corporate company. So I would suggest you to go and read my post
On LinkedIn.
Yes.
So would you like to tell our viewers your LinkedIn, your...
Definitely. I want all you guys to follow me on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. My profile is Aisha Siddiqui, and I'm very active there in terms of helping you out, everyone if you guys are looking for any kind of opportunities, I would love to help you guys to connect you with the right person. So yes, follow me there.
सो व्यूअर्स, व्हाट आर यू वेटिंग फॉर? आयशा सिद्दीकी ने आपको अपना लिंक्डइन आईडी दे दिया है, जाइए उनको वहाँ फॉलो कीजिए। और हाँ, हमारे इस शो पे हमें को हार्ट इमोजी देते रहिए, मेरे लिए नहीं तो आयशा सिद्दीकी के लिए, और कमेंट बॉक्स में कमेंट्स डालते रहिएगा। सो आयशा, टेल मी समथिंग, you know, when you're we talk about real estate and HR, human resource, when you're hiring a real estate agent, what are you actually looking out for? You know, in the sense like जब आप एक रियल एस्टेट एजेंट की तलाश में होते हैं या आप उसका इंटरव्यू लेते हैं, तो what are you exactly looking for in that person, he or she, whoever that is?
It's very simple for me. It's very simple. I just look for the right attitude and passion. Because if a person has a right attitude and a passion to be a real estate agent, or let's call it more professional, a realtor in Dubai, you know. So real estate agent is again a term, but I think realtor, when you call them realtor, they feel, you know, or
Reality आ जाती है। हाँ?
exactly. I mean, they prefer, I don't know, it's a better term to use instead of a real estate agent. So again, if a person has the right attitude and right amount of passion to be a realtor, definitely it's a good fit. I mean, because I think attitude is something that matters. Skills is something that you can teach. Attitude you cannot teach, right?
So-
It comes within the person.
So when you say attitude, can you define more on this subject? When you say attitude means like when I understand attitude is when I walk into somebody's office, how I present myself, how I'm talking myself, how I'm addressing myself. Is that what you're talking about, or am I on the different page?
No, you are on the right page actually. But
Okay.
again, I would, elaborate more about it. So basically, when I'm talking about the right attitude, that means a personality which is more coachable, trainable, a positive personality who is, taking the challenges positively. So basically, when a person is coming to Dubai and, they have this dream of becoming a realtor and they have some achievements. It's not like they'll come here, they'll get a job, they'll close a deal, and bam, you buy a car, or
Correct.
It's not like that. It takes efforts, because the thing that they don't really see, that it's not a 9 to 6 job. It's a 24/7 and 7 days a week. You're working non-stop and non-stop.
Wow.
Because that's how they're making so much money, correct?
Yes.
Because a 9 to 6 employee, okay, you come to the office, report on time, leave the office on time, you have the salary at the month end, that's it. But these people are really thriving a lot.
Yeah, so basically what you're trying to say is, जो आपको दिखता है वैसा है नहीं, but
Exactly.
वैसा है भी, लेकिन उसके लिए बहुत मेहनत लगती है. A lot of hard work goes
Definitely.
in. Like you just said, 24/7 का job है ये. It's not like a salaried job. It's not like a Monday to Friday job.
Not at all.
So don't look
That's a
at
myth.
yeah. So don't look at all those fancy cars. You can afford to buy a fancy car if you work really hard and thrive in the market. Is that what you're trying to
Yes,
say?
exactly. You can definitely, Dubai and real estate will definitely make you able to buy that luxury car, or to buy that luxury apartment, or, for you to be able to go on that world tour or XYZ, whatever you're thriving for. But believe me, you have to work really hard for it. And for that, you have to have a very positive attitude, because yeah.
I agree. Because everything requires hard work, strategy, and how you want to plan it out for the future. Whether it's your job, whether it's your personal life, because हर चीज में आपका फोकस होना बहुत जरूरी है.
Definitely, whatever you do, you need to have your 100% focus.
100% फोकस है. So basically आपका जो काम है ह्यूमन रिसोर्स का, ये एक ऐसी चीज है जहाँ से आप बहुत सारे अलग अलग लोगों को मिलते हैं, बिकॉज
Definitely,
इतने लोग
yes.
इंटरव्यूज के लिए
It's
आते
very
हैं.
interesting.
And it's a very interesting job. In fact, on that note, I would like my viewers that, what an interesting job a human resource is. And if you have any questions for that, any message for that, you can leave us in the comment box and we'll surely reply to you, because we take efforts in replying in Dubai show. So don't worry, you leave your comments, we'll answer back.
at this point, I would like to correct you. Human resources is very vast. Okay, so what we are talking here is more about the recruitment and the talent acquisition department.
Talent acquisition. Okay.
Because HR is a very vast department that includes compensation and benefits, then payroll department, then we have the grievances department for employee benefits. So it's a lot. And we are here talking more about the recruitment and the talent acquisition.
I wanted to ask you a question. Maybe our viewers would also be very interested in this. How is the social media platform helping in the recruitment process or in the talent acquisition, as you said, talent acquisition, am I right?
Correct.
Is helping in that. How would you, मतलब उसके बारे में आप क्या और मतलब थोड़ा elaborate करके बताएंगे? How does like a platform like a LinkedIn
Sure.
or anything else would help somebody to get a job or not get a job or get through the interview or get into the door or whatever it is? Is it a really helpful platform, social media is, in today's time?
Definitely, because see, nowadays it's all about social media. Everything is on social media, and people are making a lot of business out of it, and all kind of business are active on social media. So definitely, it is helping the recruitment and the talent acquisition also. I'll tell you a little more about recruitment and talent acquisition. So basically, these two terms, recruitment and talent acquisition, is different. Surprisingly, people don't know this or they don't understand it, but yes, it's different. Recruitment is a term, or a recruiter is a term used for a person who is, for filling in for a position which is for a short term role, or just to fill in the position they're hiring people. It happens, like sourcing, screening, interviewing, offer given, and then bam, the candidate is hired. But talent acquisition is more about looking at a candidate for a long term strategic position. You understand? So this is not just, when you say talent acquisition, it's more about hiring a person who can give more to the company, just not for that particular position, but who comes with a better vision, better profile, something like an asset who can be used for who can be used for a long term, or who can be appointed or being an asset to the company for a long term.
So,
but I'm doing both. Okay, just so you know.
When you're looking for an asset like that, and what is your process of looking for an asset like that?
Okay.
Or talent acquisition, when you give such an elaborate answer to my question, is what is that one thing you look, let's say whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or XYZ, any kind of platform, what is one thing Aisha Siddiqui is looking into that candidate and saying, okay, this looks good, let me call him for an interview?
Okay.
What is that process from that media platform to get to Aisha Siddiqui to get into the office and to get into for the interview?
Sure, I'll tell you about it.
Did I confuse you or it's okay?
No, you didn't confuse me. You cannot confuse an HR.
Oh,
The HR
okay.
job is
I
to
agree with you. I agree
confuse
with you
you,
totally.
right? So, that's just a joke. Huh? HR will not confuse you. They are the person who will help you definitely. So, to answer your question, talent acquisition, or using social media in terms of hiring, I am only active on LinkedIn when it comes to hiring and doing my job. So I prefer headhunting. Are you aware about this term, headhunting?
मेरे को तो यही पता था कि head को hunt कर दिया है. So can you explain more to our viewers?
Headhunting is something that includes networking and socializing with the people, and hunting those people which are not potentially looking for a job right now. They are happy where they are, and they might be not an immediate joiner for your company or immediately available or something. So, headhunting could be you meet someone at the party, or you saw someone on the LinkedIn, they are frequently posting something, they're very active, and you kind of make a network with them, a relation, a friendship, okay? Maybe a LinkedIn connection or something like that. And then you slowly and steadily, when you talk to them, you understand that they might be a right person for your specific position in your company. So you try to understand what package they are looking for, or what exactly they can bring to your company if you are going to hire them. So it's more about that.
So where does Aisha Siddiqui goes for headhunting?
I go on LinkedIn. That's my go-to place. Actually,
place,
I
okay.
am not
Okay.
active on Instagram,
Okay.
not even on Facebook. I want to, but not
You're
yet.
not on Instagram, you're not on Facebook,
No.
you're only on LinkedIn.
Exactly.
So viewers, if you're listening, she's only on LinkedIn and she's already given her LinkedIn handle to you. So on that note, you can leave a nice comment for Aisha Siddiqui. इतना तो वो डिजर्व करती है.
Thank you.
So आयशा, एक और चीज मुझे पूछनी थी. What are the myths and misconceptions about HR?
That HR is doing nothing. People think that HR does only the Fun Friday activity. Plays in India, it's all about HR is organizing the Rangoli event in Diwali
Oh,
or
okay.
another other festivals or festivities,
Okay.
and people they're more about engaging in the employee fun activities.
Okay.
But people don't understand that HR is doing this for themselves, for them, not for herself or himself. Because what if the HR is not going to do any activity like that? Just imagine the workplace, how boring it will become, right? I mean, you're going to do the same monotonous work, coming at 9, leaving at 6, and same cycle, Monday to Friday or Saturday, whatever your working days are. But these activities are something which is very important if you look at it in terms of the HR point of view, because to engage the employees, to make them come together, work
yes,
on a
yes.
certain project or a certain activity. Because when you're working, you're a different person, but when you are involved in an activity which is fun, which is a game, or which can involve a teamwork, it develops all these kinds of aspects in a person. So that's very important, actually. That's why the HR is doing it. So here at Indus also, we are always, me and my HR team, we are always involved in some or the other activities which will bring the team together. Because at the end, the employee will stay in your company when they feel like they're treated like a family member, not just as an employee.
So जैसे वो इंग्लिश में कहते हैं, everything comes down to teamwork.
Exactly, yeah.
So if there is teamwork, the company will be successful and has to be successful.
That's what we believe in at Indus also, that the team that works together, that aspires together, will stay together.
I agree because one has to work as a team
Definitely.
to see the end goal. Not only, I would say, HR or anybody else, or a real estate agent or a realtor, like you call a real estate agent is. And so, because at the end of the day, it's not one person, it's the entire team which comes
Exactly.
together, collaborates
Exactly.
together,
Exactly.
for the success of the organization. And for that, I would say everybody has to come together.
The great vision cannot be
Achieved.
a great vision without the great people. So
I
how
agree.
you make great people? By doing the best for them. Because as I said, HR is all about people. So they are thriving a lot to do the best for their employees. Yes.
I wanted to know more if you can elaborate about headhunting. Have you what is your best find through headhunting?
The best hired.
Yeah, best hired.
Okay, so I hired a real estate agent. Sorry, realtor.
Realtor, yeah.
Yeah. So I hired a realtor 1 year back through headhunting.
Mhm.
And surprisingly, this person, I would not name him, but he was like such a potential hire for me, that at the time of hiring, my management really thought that it's not really a good decision to get him onboarded.
Okay.
But surprisingly, within 3 months, he made a business for the company which was beyond the targets, beyond the achievement that they thought that he might. So I was really appreciated for that hiring. But yes, initially the management didn't really believed in that person, but I had a very firm belief, because I was eyeing on this person from a long time. So yes, surprisingly, he performed, and he was promoted to another level. And yes, until now he's working with us. So yeah.
What is the structure in a real estate company? Like, is it a commission based job? Is a salary based job? If you can elaborate and tell our viewers more about it.
You tell me. I would ask you actually. You tell me, what is real estate all about? Why are people coming to become a realtor?
I think I should be asking you that question. I'm the host. You should be answering that.
Okay.
Not me.
Okay, see. Basically, it's all about commissions. The game is of commission. What is about salary? I mean, people who are asking you as a real estate agent, I mean, on a senior or on a junior level or on a mid level, like 1 or 2 years in the market, if they're very keen on asking salary, they are a red flag.
Why is that?
Reason being is, when you're working on a salary, first of all, reputed companies are not really giving salaries. So by saying this, I am not putting any company down, but yes, real estate game is all about commissions. People make really good money in terms of commissions. Then why to work on a salary of 5,000, 6,000, 7,000? Because that's just a very basic amount. And when you look at the bigger picture, it's all about commissions. And I prefer to hire only commission-based agents.
Commission-based agents.
And yeah, at Indus, we are only, preferring to hire people on commissions. So utilize whatever is provided to you, the resources in the right way, and you can make good money.
Money out.
And it's more about, realtors are not your employee. They are more like a business partner to the company, because the more money they are going to make for themselves, the more money they're making for the company. And it's like a give and take relationship. It's not like you're going to do and give a service to the company, you're going to get paid for that at the end of the month. It's more about, the more you thrive, the more the company is going to receive.
So, our viewers would like to know, what is the kind of structure a company follows when, you're talking about commission-based jobs? What is the structure a realtor or a real estate agent is looking out for? Or what is he getting in that structure?
See, I think a realtor is always looking for a higher commission from a company, and a right person would require a good marketing support, a good admin support from the company. And yes, obviously a higher commission slab is something which will really excite them to work extensively for that particular deal, if I'm not wrong. Because if the company is not gonna give them a partial or a right amount of commission share, they will not be that active.
Yes.
The more they know that they're gonna make out of that particular deal, that will make them more active.
So, I wanted to ask you a question. मतलब ये मेरा एक सवाल है
हाँ
आपसे.
जी.
जब आप एक एजेंट को देखते हैं अपने ऑफिस में आते हुए, तो आपको देख के लगता है कि हाँ, ये है, ये कर पाएगा, there is a formula to achieve that goal in real estate, or there is a luck factor also there, or there is see, it combines everything as far as my knowledge goes.
Definitely.
कि उसमें सब चीज़ का मिक्सचर है, हार्डवर्क भी है, आपका नॉलेज कितना स्ट्रांग है, आप कैसे उस चीज़ को कंसीव करते. तो आपके व्यू से, फ्रॉम एचआर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, आपके व्यू से आप किसी को देख के ऐसा बोलते हैं कि अरे हाँ, ये इसमें टैलेंट है, इसको ऊपर लेते हैं, ये कर पाएगा?
Definitely, because I'll tell you one of my experiences. I interviewed a person who was actually not at all from real estate, okay, but really a good personality in terms of, when I say personality, well spoken in English, because English is something which connects all nationalities in Dubai,
yes.
correct? So you have to be very good at good command over your communication in English, especially. Then presentable personality. This guy was, you won't believe, he was working as a waiter in a cafe.
Wow.
And this is like 1.5 years back. He was working in a company, in a cafe, and I called him for, he approached and I aligned his interview, he came. And surprisingly, the personality was so good, okay, in terms of, for a real estate agent. And all I saw is, he was very passionate. He was very hungry to achieve that amount of success in real estate market in Dubai. So all that guy told me, this person told me that, just give me a chance. And I literally fought with my hiring, my manager, to let's take him on board. Let's give him a chance at least. Let's see what he has to offer. Surprisingly, within one and a half months, that guy closed a deal. And since then, he's a performer. And, he was the one, coming right before 9 a.m., sitting in the office, sitting straight for 12 hours, 10 hours in the office, making calls. And, I saw that this guy used to wear only 2 outfits every day. You can see that that person does not really have that kind of money, but he had that hunger, and Allah blessed him with success.
Today he's successful.
Exactly, yes.
Wow, viewers, that's a real good story to listen to. So if you're inspired by that story, so please leave a comment in our comment box, और एटलीस्ट एक हार्ट इमोजी तो आप छोड़ ही सकते हैं. सो आयशा, बहुत सीरियस हो गया माहौल एकदम से ना. आपके साथ कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि आपको कभी किसी रियल एस्टेट एजेंट ने कोल्ड कॉल करी हो और प्रॉपर्टी बेचने की कोशिश करी हो, क्योंकि सबके साथ होता है, और कहीं ना कहीं आपको उस कॉल में ऐसा लगा हो, ऐसा एहसास हुआ हो कि ओ वाओ, ही रियली नोज हाउ टू सेल, और मैं इसको बुला लेती हूँ, लेट्स कॉल हिम फॉर इंटरव्यू. ऐसा कभी हुआ है आपके साथ?
So yes, like everyone, I also get calls for, madam, are you looking to buy a property? But then actually once there was a female, she called me, and I really liked, the way she approached me. I mean, she was not letting me keep the phone, actually. And that's what we are actually looking in a right person who's actually, making calls and approaching the client. So I kind of, asked her, for which company are you working, and, what exactly have been. And surprisingly, she was not working for any company. She was more about, herself. She was like, a freelance in Dubai. So I called her to come for an interview. And for some reason, we didn't really hire her. But yes, it was a really good encounter with the person who's calling you to buy a property, then calling them to your office for an interview and understanding more about them. So what I actually liked about this person, the way she approached on the call, and this is what a real estate agent is, this kind of quality is what is required, because when they're calling a client, the client should not feel that they're invading their privacy,
yeah.
but at the same time you have to connect in a way where they feel more personal also, that you're caring about them, you're telling them something which is for their benefit,
Yeah.
not your benefit. You should sound in a way like that. So yes, again, coming to your question, definitely I had this kind of encounter, but yet, she was not hired. But yes, it was a good experience.
तो घर बेचने में आपको सक्सेसफुल हुई कि नहीं हुई फाइनली?
No, because I have. She was selling some other property,
okay.
which I don't really. I was not interested.
Okay. And Aisha, I would also like to know कि, you've been in Dubai for how long now?
It's been quite a few years now.
Quite a few years. And I believe, from my sources, I came to know, I'm digressing and diverting a little bit, but it's a very interesting story. I just came to know that before you came to HR, you yourself was in real estate, selling properties or selling dreams or what? Please elaborate. Maybe I'm wrong, my sources are wrong, but you tell us.
Okay, so actually, not many people are aware about this. Since I mentioned at the beginning of our podcast that I came to Dubai with a very, no plan, no blueprint, nothing. I just came, asking my father, give me a chance and I'll try to prove myself. If within 3 months I don't get a job, I'll come back and I'll, maybe I'll do whatever my parents wanted me to do. But Alhamdulillah, once I was here, unlike everyone, people come to Dubai, and every other person you meet, they say that real estate is easy. Let's get into it. And same thing happened to me. I was hired by one of the company initially in the initial stage. I would say the first month of me being in Dubai, without any knowledge about real estate, and I joined a company. I would not name it again. I think for a very short period, I realized that this is not my cup of tea. Reason being is, I'll tell you more in detail. That I was always taken to one of the developer office, and the coach always used to make me feel actually that look around, and look around at the people, how they are dressed up. They
The
all look,
competitors or your
the fellow real estate agents, or the realtors that we had at that developer office. And he's like, just look around how they are dressed up, and how they are presenting themselves. They look like celebrities, so you have to be one of them to make business or to be successful in Dubai. And that thought really made me very demotivated. Reason being is, I don't come from that kind of that kind of a family, if I would say it that way. It's not wrong being like that, but it's all about how, from where you are coming, what
maybe
are your
how-
roots.
maybe how
basically.
somebody feels comfortable.
Exactly. So when I heard that, and not just once, twice, thrice, and I told this person that, sorry, I cannot do this. I think being a real estate agent is not my cup of tea. And I left the job, and then I started my career in HR into a real estate company. So once I was, I started working, and I started with my recruitment, and being more active on LinkedIn. I realized that my fellow employees or colleagues, sales agents, they're not really. You don't really have to be someone else, to be a good seller. Just be yourself. You can be whatever you are, and the way you are, and being in your own personality, you can be comfortable in your own personality, and still achieve a lot.
A lot, yeah. I agree.
So
One-
the point I'm saying this, because a lot of people, a lot of females and males, or people from India, part of India, they're coming to Dubai with a dream, and when they come here and they are treated like this by their fellow managers, they feel demotivated, and they might think that this is not the right place. But I want to give them a message that that's not correct.
But maybe it could be one person, but the entire industry is so
It could be few people,
few people, yeah.
but Dubai and real estate is something which is gonna give you what you want.
I agree because Dubai itself is such a thriving place to be in.
It's like I came here to make a career, but now it's like my home. I don't want to go. It's like my first home now.
First home now, yeah. Everybody's first home is Dubai now. So since we are talking about real estate and properties, अगर आयशा सिद्दीकी को कहीं पे घर लेना हो दुबई के अंदर, तो वो कौन सा एरिया में लेना चाहेंगी, और क्या वो अपार्टमेंट लेना चाहेंगी, या विला लेना चाहेंगी, या टाउन हाउस लेना चाहेंगी, किधर लेना चाहेंगी? मतलब our viewers would like to know.
Okay, so being a HR, definitely, people are not making that much money, right? So I really want a waterfront kind of location, because I would love to see water whenever I'm waking up in the morning or in the evening, having your coffee in your balcony. So water is something that I want, but I think Palm Jumeirah would be very
Jumeirah.
expensive. So how about now, we are having a lot of projects coming at Maritime City.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the location which I would love to invest or to buy a property for myself. And definitely not a villa. I would love to have an apartment on a high rise.
High rise. You don't like villas, you like apartments.
Yes, for now.
Oh, okay.
Maybe for future.
Okay.
You might villas are something secondary, but primary requirement would be a apartment on a high rise floor.
So viewers, if you want to invest somewhere, Maritime City is
Exactly,
the place.
it's a very good place for people to invest in right now. There are a lot of projects coming in there, so it's an amazing place.
I agree. So, viewers, if you're listening to Aisha Siddiqui, go invest in Maritime City. And if you want to invest anywhere else, also you can leave us a nice comment for Aisha Siddiqui. So, आयशा, ये तो बहुत गंभीर बातें हो गई, बट अब मैं आपसे एक और सवाल पूछना चाह रहा था. आपकी हॉबीज क्या हैं? What does actually Aisha do when she has little me time for herself? Do you
My
like
me
to
time?
do you like to read? Do you like to drive? Do you like to paint? Do you like to watch movies? What do you like to do?
Okay, my me time is, doing nothing.
Nothing. Why?
I enjoy doing nothing. And it's very normal. Sometimes you want to do nothing. What, every time you have to do something? That's not necessary.
No, I
right?
agree. But do you like reading books?
Yes.
Because I see you're very active on your LinkedIn account. You write very good. What do you say? How do I frame that?
Articles?
Articles. You like very good articles. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है आप काफ़ी पढ़ी लिखी और काफ़ी किताबें पढ़ती हैं. तो कुछ शेयर करना चाहेंगी इसके बारे में?
Definitely. See, I am a person who likes to read, but I'm not a very book.
You're not like a bookworm.
Exactly. I'm not a bookworm. But yes, I love to read, but random. I'm not of a particular, what you call, a particular author or something like that. But yes, I'd love to read novels and books which will, upskill me as a person. So recently I'm reading a book which is by Thomas Erickson. It's the name of the book is Surrounded by Idiots.
Surrounded by
Surrounded by Idiots. It's a very good
idiots.
book.
Oh, okay. That's a very interesting,
Yeah.
tagline you've given me. Surrounded
It's
by
the name of a
idiots.
book. Come on, it's
Oh.
not a tagline.
Okay,
Basically,
sorry.
it's a very good book recommended to an HR.
Hmm.
Because this book is evolving around human behavior. So the book is all about it is based on a simple color coded method where you color code different personalities. So like it has color red, which is more used for dominant personality. Then we have blue for more calm and stable personality. Then we have green, which is more about a detail oriented personality. Then we have yellow, which is more about an influential personality. So I think your personality kind of
So
relates to the color yellow.
Yellow. Okay. And आपकी personality कौन से color के साथ जाती है?
For me,
Yes.
okay, because I'm reading the book, so I feel like there is some aspect of all colors, but more
All
about,
colors. Wow.
You know yourself better, correct? Nobody else can know you the way you know yourself. So there are certain aspects about myself which is more about blue, which is calm, and sometimes it's red, which is more dominant about something. So it can be or everything, about everything, a little bit of everything.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. One last thing I want to ask you before we end today's podcast. What is that one advice you would like to give to our viewers and the wannabe realtors who would like to come into this field, who would like to maybe get in touch with you for hiring process in the future? What is that one advice you give to them?
Okay. So advising them, I would just say one thing. If you are in Dubai or if you're willing to come to Dubai, it's definitely one of the best place in this world to be in terms of building a career. And if you're willing to come into real estate, that's again one of the best choice of career. And for that, all you need to get from your home country is a lot of positive attitude, passion that will keep you thrive throughout you close your first deal.
Correct.
And third thing should be patience. You need patience because you will not come here and close the deal right in your first month or achieve that amount of success in the first month. You might take 1 year, 2 years, or maybe sometimes people take 5 years. But it's all about how potential and how confident you are in yourself. Because as I said, a person knows themselves more rather than anybody else.
I agree. I agree. So, Aisha, on that high note, I would say thank you. Thank you so much. So, viewers, keep watching our podcast, keep watching our channel in Dubai Show. Please please subscribe to the like button and subscribe to our channel. We'll be bringing you more informative stories on real estate about Dubai and everything to do about Dubai and everything to do about Dubai real estate market. So, stay tuned and keep watching our new show in Dubai Show. Thank you so much.